There is no question that Zohran Mamdani has an ambitious list of promises that he is hoping to fulfill, from free childcare to free buses and increasing minimum wage.
But his greatest challenge may be navigating President Trump, who has made it very clear.
None of those, by the way, he can actually do. None of those, by the way, he can do. As the mayor, you can't do those things, right? These are they're things just like the president. There are things that you can do as per like an executive order, or the things you can do that are legislative. A lot of those promises that he's making, I mean, he has zero to do with taxes. I mean, zero, literally zero. It has nothing to do with the taxes that the state take in. These are state taxes. And when it comes to like unilaterally saying that childcare is free now, don't know how he can do that. Minimum wage, nothing to do with him. So these are all things that were promises that were made, knowing full well that he couldn't do it. And that might actually be the strategy. The strategy might be get into office with all of these promises that I cannot fulfill, and then just blame the other people for not being able to do it. Kind of genius. A lot of people that are, not very smart voted for him because of, I don't know, I guess they're thinking he's going to push that agenda. If you are intellectually honest with yourself and you say, okay, he can't do those things, but he's going to help push the agenda, then I guess so. I personally think a lot of these people believe that he can do a lot of these things, even though he absolutely cannot. But, we'll see.
That he is not a fan of the mayor-elect. Sandra Bookman is here with that part of our coverage. Sandra?
Sade and Mike, President Trump has falsely called Zohran Mamdani a communist. He has threatened to arrest him.
He's falsely called him a communist? It's false? You don't think he's a communist? I mean, she's reading a teleprompter. She's just reading what they put in front of her, just like Anchorman. But no, he wants state control of things, pretty much everything. He wants to bring everyone else down and equalize the playing field across the board. He wants to take away the incentives to having more. The reason why there is such a large pie in the United States of America is because you can strive to have more, and in the pursuit of having more, everyone else has more. I say all the time, I said, yes, Jeff Bezos has hundreds of billions of dollars, but had he not created Amazon, think about all the other people in that sphere that is Amazon, in the pie that is Amazon, that wouldn't have the things that they have today and the opportunities that they have today. It is just very short-sighted. It's very communistic mindset that says, no, we don't want anyone to have a lot. We just want to keep everybody here, which ends up being lower than the median that we currently have under capitalism. This is not the perfect system. There's a ton of corporate takeover. There's a ton of cronyism with capitalism on the government side. I think I'm a very free market, free enterprise kind of person. I don't like the lobby groups. I don't like the cutouts that everybody gets. But if you're telling me that you can never eliminate the top 1%, that's not a thing. It's mathematics. The only difference is when it comes to communism versus capitalism is the top 1% aren't people that are creating a service or providing a product. They're people that are in charge. The top 1% are the new oligarchs under communism are the rulers, are the ruling class, are the people that have been just granted by fiat all the authority and the power. They're still the top 1%. That doesn't go away. That's a very childlike idea to say we want to take and not have a upper echelon of society. You can have it one way or the other. Either you can have an upper echelon of society that has earned their way and earned their place there, or you can have upper echelon of society that was just said, you know what, I like you, boom, you're the new guy now. Which one would you prefer? I know which one I would prefer. But we have a disconnect when it comes to younger people and a lot just people in general that just have this fantasy land mentality that is communism, socialism, or democratic socialism, whatever the hell that means. That's just a crock of shit, by the way.
And he has vowed to withdraw federal funding from the city. But late this afternoon, he took a slightly softer tone when talking about the 111th mayor of New York City.
And now let's see how a communist does in New York. We're going to see how that works out. And we'll help him. We'll help him. We want New York to be successful. We'll help him a little bit, maybe.
Speaking in Miami late this afternoon, President Trump still referred to Zohran Mamdani as a communist, but said he'd offer help to New York's new mayor, backing off a little of the divisive rhetoric we saw on the campaign trail. Last night, the mayor-elect had a message for Washington.
Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
And on Good Morning America today, Mamdani was asked what would happen if the president followed through on some of his threats to withhold funding to New York or send the National Guard into the 5 boroughs.
I think that his threats are inevitable. I also know that it's time we actually call this for what it is. This has nothing to do with safety. It has to do with intimidation.
On Eyewitness News at noon, we asked ABC News Washington Bureau Chief Rick Klein if the two leaders could coexist.
How does Mamdani stand up to Donald Trump and the White House administration for the betterment of New York City?
Well, there's a rhetorical end to that, and I think you heard him last night signal, turn up the volume, Mr. President. He knows that President Trump's going to be watching every one of his moves. And then there's the very practical piece of it. New York is a huge place with a big budget, but you're right, needs the resources of the federal government like any other city would. And there's areas of cooperation.
That was a sentiment echoed by the man Mamdani will be replacing.
He's the mayor. He has to wrap his mind around that. Diplomacy is crucial. He needs to go to Washington, D.C. and sit down with your president and say, here are the needs of my city. You have to put all of that anger behind you.
Consider.
Doesn't seem like he's doing that. If you watch any part of that speech, it was very divisive. It was not a unifying speech. I think that he seems like a pretty young, cocky guy. He's well spoken. He dressed in a suit, la-di-da. He had a very good social media campaign. He got the message out. He ran a good campaign for local politics. I don't think his ideas will play nationally. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in my personal little bubble. What do you guys think? Comment down below. If you can, please subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask, is just to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Let's finish this out here and see what else we got.
Consider this. Nearly a decade ago, Mr. Trump was the bold yet untested candidate who scored a huge political victory after building a populist coalition, harnessing social media, commanding the media spotlight, and promising change. Sound like someone you know?
Yeah, no, it does not sound like someone I know, because Mamdani is a communist. But you know what? I mean, we shall see. We shall see what's going to happen. We shall see how it's going to go forward, go down, how it's all going to go down, how it's all going to play out. It'll play out right in front of our eyes. We'll all be able to see what the results are of a Zoran Mamdani. I was watching Patrick Bet-David's podcast earlier yesterday, perhaps, and he made an interesting point. It's not so much that the people with money are going to leave. That may or may not happen. It is very difficult to pick up and move, especially if it's something that you're not looking forward to, and you have ties, family ties, stuff like that. The more interesting thing is who's going to move in. And if you understand the policies that Mamdani is espousing, if you understand his tolerance of crime, perhaps, or his D.A. Bragg was also voted back in. He's the district attorney in Manhattan, relatively liberal, very soft on crime. So the wheels are aligning for a disaster. Patrick Bet-David essentially said, who do you believe is going to move into a city? Do you believe investors are going to move into a city? Do you believe that big money is going to move into a city? Do you believe that people that want to be safe and raise a family are going to move into a city? Or do you think it's going to be migrants? Do you think it's going to be criminals? Do you think it's going to be people that are going to try to flood in and get all the little goodies and benefits that are being bestowed to everybody throughout the city? Obviously, it's going to be the latter. How that will play out down the road, only time will tell. Hopefully, if Mamdani takes the city off the edge of the cliff, it'll be maybe a softer fall or a softer landing if he only does 4 years. If he slow rolls this and gets it and just goes on, if he puts himself in the mindset of doing 8 years and takes his time with these policies and just gets them into place, again, because many of them he cannot do. What he can do, and what is going to be apparent probably in the very first 6 months to a year, is the crime. What is he going to do when it comes to crime? If the crime in the city starts creeping up, as it already has been, and it has been for quite a while, and everyone that says that crime is down, it's not down. I mean, you could do whatever you want with numbers, but crime is not down. People don't feel safe. The city is not clean. It's a dirty, dingy city. It's Gotham. It's not how it was in Giuliani and the Bloomberg years. It is a shell of its former self, as somebody who's lived here for many, many years. That is going to be the test. That is going to be, how do people feel? How do they feel in the street? How do they feel when they walk down to the road? Are their kids safe walking home from school? Are they safe when they go outside in the dark and at nighttime? That is the ultimate test of a mayor. Safety is paramount. Safety is key. Safety is all that you need to provide as a person in government. Safety. Everything else should work itself out. I mean, obviously, you want like building some relative building codes and shit like that. They're draconian right now in the city. But for the most part, you just need people to feel safe. Once everybody feels safe, once everything is clean, everything will start happening. People will move in, businesses will open. People will go to businesses and go to restaurants, they go to movies, they go to shows and go to things like that. That is what you need for a prosperous city, is safety. That is it. All this other stuff he's talking about with the free this and the free that and the child care and the buses and the $30 minimum wage. I mean, it's just insane stuff. It never works, and it doesn't work for a reason. Like we've tested these things out. When something is free, it's not as valuable anymore. It's nowhere near as good. I mean, and that's the reason why. Like when you look, perfect example is universities. You used to have maybe 10% of the population going and going higher education, going to university. Now with loans and people could just delay that forever. Everyone goes to college. Everyone gets a degree. And what is a degree worth now? Absolutely nothing. Worth nothing unless you're getting into a specific specialty. And those were the ones that they used to offer back in the day. So just like with anything else, an abundance of quote unquote free, it's always dog shit. It never works. It's terrible. It's horrible. But the unfortunate thing is the way that our society is now with high inflation, with all these things that have been going on and we've been dealing with the past couple of years, the hollowing out of the middle class. Mamdani was able to capitalize on that. He was able to go up there and say, I'm going to help you guys out. I hear you guys. I'm here with you guys. I'm listening to you. I'm going to help you. The help is coming. He was able to get that message across and get it to the finish line. That's what he did. Now we shall all see. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. 6283 Talk on the X if you want to follow me on the X. I'm John Soto. See you in the next video. Take care.